It's no longer a secret. People are starting to pick up on this. Buying a business is the best way to build generational wealth. It is a lot easier than starting a business from scratch, and it is definitely a lot easier than banking on getting rich from your 9 to 5. But there's one key problem that no one is talking about, and that's how the heck do you find the best cash flowing businesses? It's not like these things are just gonna walk up to your doorstep, and I'm telling you now, you're not gonna find these at your local grocery store. So how the heck do you find these great businesses? Well, good thing for you, this is your boy Kenny Finance, and we don't gatekeep anywhere here, all right? I'm gonna lay out for you guys my 3 best strategies to find the best cash flowing businesses literally today. Step by step. I'm actually gonna share my screen and walk you through exactly how to find incredible businesses that are for sale, or the right people that know businesses that are for sale. And who that can mind? I'm Kenny Finance. I'm your neighborhood private equity baby, where I do nothing but find businesses, buy businesses, and scale them. And I've done this professionally for 10 plus years at the best private equity firms in the entire world, Blackstone, KKR. I love everyone there. And I'm taking all of my secrets and the playbook I learned from Wall Street and giving it to Main Street. All right, so let's dive right in and let me show you exactly how to find those businesses. Let's rock.
We've always wanted to acquire entire businesses.
There's a cultural shift coming, known by several names: the silver tsunami, the gray wave, the great wealth transfer, as more baby boomers age out of the working world and, in our case, out of business ownership. Some will close up shop, others pass it on to family or sell it to new owners. About $10 trillion worth of business assets are at stake.
All right, so let me grab my laptop here and let's get to work, people. This is what I like to call sourcing. You are sourcing a pipeline of businesses you can potentially acquire and put capital to work into. Plain and simple. So let me show you how to become a literal sourcing ninja. So the first of the 3, and I think there's 3 key areas. And if you want to know what those 3 areas are, I think it's 1, business listings, 2, brokers, and then 3, cold outreach. Plain and simple. Now I'm going to dive into each of those. But for the first one, business listing. The best and easiest one, and it's kind of like a fun pastime, is to go on a website called BizBuySell.com. And by the way, I'm not sponsored by them. I just use this all the time. And I don't know how this business actually makes money, so I don't even think they have the budget to sponsor my channel. But yeah, I'm just going to show you guys exactly how I go on this site and find inspiration for businesses to buy or actual listings to engage with. So what you want to do is you want to start to embed filters into your search so that you can at least filter it down into a good sizable amount that you can look through, read through, and build conviction on. Don't spend all of your days sourcing just looking through listings that just won't fit your criteria. So for me, one of the biggest things that I like to filter on is the price I'm willing to pay, as well as the cash flow profile of the business. And just to set this on, BizBuySell is essentially like a catalog of a bunch of businesses that have agreed to sell that are looking to promote their business for sale so that potential buyers can find them and engage with them and buy the business, right? Plain and simple. It's just like your local newspaper for your grocery store that shows all the products that are for sale, and it's just like that for businesses. So we want to look and figure out what companies are for sale within my cash flow and price range. So I'm willing to pay, let's say, $2 million for a business, right? That is my price range. But then also you can go in here and you can put a filter for a keyword, meaning that you just want laundromats, or you just want car washes, or you just want med spas, right? Or you want businesses that have a minimum of $500,000 in revenue or $1 million of revenue. I like to look at the cash flow of the business. And I want something that is going to generate around $500,000 of cash flow. Okay? So show me what you got, Texas. Boom. We filtered that list from 1,500 listings all the way to 72. That's perfect. Now we scrub. And when I go through this, I'm trained to identify good or bad business models very, very quickly. So it takes me 1.5 seconds to read a description and think, oh, it's not a fit for me, or oh, this is a bad business model, oh, it's not really recession resilient. I can think those things very critically. And if you want to figure out how to think like me, you can read a Warren Buffett book. That's what I use to get smart like this. Or you can hit me up on Instagram, hit me a DM, or check out my newsletter where every single Friday I give a deal review on a business that I saw that is for sale, and I outline everything about what I like, what I don't like, key diligence questions, etc. So kind of give you an inside look of the mind of a private equity pro when it comes to buying a business. So I want to help educate you guys into exactly how I think about businesses, and that's a cool way to get a look into it. Okay, so let's sprint through these 72 listings. Off through it. Anything fitness, I'm not touching it, all right? Because gyms pop up and shut down all the time. Smoke shop, I just don't think it's a really good market to invest in. Of course, everyone's vaping and smoking, but I don't think, one, it's a healthy activity. Then two, I think there's going to be a lot of regulation coming out that's going to force a lot of these businesses to change the products they sell or regulation and have some shut down. So not a big fan of that. Executive Club for Leaders. Well, there's ChatGPT. You can literally figure out how to be a leader super quickly. Allstate, I'm not trying to sell insurance. Oh, they got some real estate in here. Restaurants, I'm not touching. Those pop up and shut down all the time. Business law firm, I think AI is going to replace lawyers. And then pedal into profit. Oh, so the fitness studio, nope, not for me. Nail salon, that seems cool. I think men and women love to get their nails done. It's semi-recession resilient, so maybe. That's like a maybe. And then restoration damage, that is a cool business model. It's really solid, but the price is $150,000 and the cash flow is like $550,000. So like something is obviously wrong with this business. Restaurants, we don't touch it. Well servicing for enhanced production. I like that. That's really cool. Okay, so I'll bookmark that one for later. So let's open that one up in a new tab. And then what else? High profit clinic. Not touching healthcare right now. Equipment rental. Maybe tree and landscaping. $500,000 of discretionary earnings, selling for $1.9 million. It's in Texas, full service. So they do landscaping and tree service. And it seems like this one is like a little bit of an all-in-one vegetation management business. Let's click into it. Okay, tree and landscaping business that does $511,000. Owner earnings is in Wichita County, Texas. Selling for $1.9 million, has revenue of around $1.5 million, and does cash flow of around $500,000 a month. So 30% margins. And when you're looking at a business, the margin is essentially the amount of cash flow that the business generates every single year divided by the amount of revenue it generates every single year. And for this one, it does $500,000 of cash flow divided by around 1.5 of revenue. That is a 30% margin. I like that. And let's also look at the listing. This business has been around since 1994. That is a solid 30-year plus operating history. That's good. And FYI, there's been a few recessions since 1994, and they've stood pretty strong. And they do full service. They have a good team. Owner is ready for retirement. We like to see that because it's not a forced seller. It's just someone that is like reaching a point where he or she does not want to run the day-to-day operations anymore, and they want to step back and just collect cash and coast into retirement in Florida, probably. So that's a good setup overall. This is like off the rip, something that is like pretty interesting, pretty nice I want to look into. And next thing you know, there's SBA financing available, meaning that we can put up a little bit of leverage and debt to buy the purchase price of this business, meaning that we don't have to pay $1.9 million in cash. So things are looking like relatively promising for this kind of business. So I'm a fan. Let's learn more. And what I would do is I would reach out on this contact form and I would say, hi, I'm Kenny. I'm from Dreamline Holdings, where we buy X, Y, and Z type of low middle market businesses. I would love to learn more about the company. And then after I reach out to them, they'll come back to me and say, hey, sign this NDA, and then we'll send you materials on the business. And it's important for you to sign that because they're giving you sensitive private information on that business, its product, its service, and its customers, etc. So you're legally bounded to make sure that you protect the confidentiality of those pieces of information that you receive. And then I'll do my homework and I figure out if I like it or not. And then boom, I'll acquire it and I'll grow it and I'll scale it. And next thing you know it, we own a $1.9 million tree and landscaping business. It's like the greatest form of shopping, right? Like, you know how some people have like retail therapy? I got business buying therapy, all right? That's my therapy. Okay, so that is the first one of how to find a business for sale. Go on BizBuySell and literally pick a geography, pick an industry, pick a filter for cash flow and purchase price, and then just read the listings. Take the time and just shop, baby. Plain and simple. All right, moving on to number 2, business brokers. Okay, so what is a business broker? A business broker is just like a real estate agent. Very simple. You know how a real estate agent will represent a seller to help market and sell their house? A business broker does the exact same thing. Well, they will work with the business owner and help represent that business owner to market and sell their business. And how do you find a business broker? Well, you go on Google and you type in business broker in a location or an industry or a specific geography that you're looking for. Plain and simple. And now I want to go to Michigan and try to find a business, so I will type in business broker Michigan. Boom, boom, go to business brokers. Okay, so business brokers, Michigan. BizBuySell has a list of brokers that we can look at. Here's like a Google map of actual business brokers based on particular regions and things. Like if you're in a specific area around Detroit and you want to get coffee with one of these business brokers, which I highly recommend, by the way. Relationships are very important in this industry. There's a bunch that you can look at, right? Like Armin Nazarian, business broker in Southwood, Michigan. hit me up, Brody. I'm gonna get coffee with you, right? Okay, that's just an example. Then there's Capital Business Brokerage. There's Calder Capital. They're pretty good. And then there's Sunbelt Brokers. Let's see what Sunbelt has to offer. You can buy a business with them, you can sell a business with them, and they work with the best performing business brokers in West Michigan. And when you're thinking about acquiring a business, volume and quantity is key, right? Because the object of it is you need to be kissing as many frogs as possible until you meet the prince. I hope I said that right. Right? Like you want to flip over a bunch of stones and look at a bunch of different listings to figure out what is the best use of your investable capital. Okay? You don't want to buy the first business that you look at on BizBuySell just because it fits a few points of criteria. You want to make sure that you give yourself the time and the diligence to see and meet with a bunch of different business brokers, a bunch of different business owners, and figure out of the 1,000 companies that I've seen in the last 12 months, what is the best one or the best business model that could fit the returns I'm looking to generate from owning a business, or the lifestyle I want from owning a business, or the growth prospects I want from owning a business, things like that. And the best way to get volume is to connect with someone that has volume in their network as well. Like business brokers, their entire job is to call and reach out to business owners and prep them to sell a business. So you get to interact with one of them that has interacted with hundreds of business owners, and it hits scale when it comes to you searching and finding a business. It's very efficient. So for this business broker, we can do a few things. We can see what their listings are by a business, and they have businesses for sale. Boom, another similar thing to BizBuySell, but the underlying thing here is I guarantee what's on this is also on BizBuySell, by the way, so don't spend time looking at this. What you want to spend time doing is contact us. What you want to do is you want to contact them and you want to send them emails saying, this is what I'm looking to do. And what you want to do is you want to send them an email saying, hi, my name is X, Y, and Z. I'm looking to connect with you just to share a bit around my mandate of what I'm looking to do as a business buyer, as well as hear about the pipeline you have of companies coming for sale. You can do this like this generic contact form, or sometimes what you can do is you can go to their business listings and then you can look for companies that fit a certain threshold, right? Like I love HVAC. And then I think here, if you click on here, we will probably find a particular broker that represents that particular business and the industry. And the cool thing here is we found it. So this guy, Chris Hayes, hopefully you guys don't spam him, but Chris Hayes, and you can send him an email this way. And that way you're reaching directly a broker that represents a business or a sector that you are very interested in. And by the way, this highly profitable HVAC business in Michigan, that was since 1997, so good operating history. How much cash flow? $220,000 in cash flow, asking for $800,000 purchase price. This is actually kind of solid. So, I don't know, like I'll race you to see who gets this one, but I might reach out to them. You should too. But that just shows that like there's ways to find the right business broker for you. So that is the second way that I like to think about my sourcing approach, is connecting with the business brokers and the bankers that are sort of the middle people between the business owner and me. So just hit scale, hit up Chris, and then figure out whether or not this business is the right one for you. But then also make sure that he puts you on the list and hits you up whenever something similar comes to market. And you want to be first one that he calls when something that's similar comes to market, and you can be the first one to take a look. And next thing you know it, you build a great relationship with the owner and the banker, and you love the financials and get to act on it and less competition. Because here's the thing, just like I'm showing you this, there are hundreds of thousands of others doing the exact same search. And when a good business is found, you can almost guarantee that there are going to be a lot of folks trying to bid for that business. So the best thing you can do is be the first call when a great company comes to market. All right, so moving on to number 3, cold calling. The best businesses aren't for sale. Plain and simple, right? For a really, really, really good company, why would an owner give it up? Like, ask yourself that. And granted, some of them need to retire. Some of them just don't have a successor in place. Some of them just don't have the runway or the resources or the energy to take the business to the next level. So those are valid reasons to sell business. But for the ones that are for sale on a business listing site, most of them are good to great companies. But none of them are like amazing businesses. And how do you find those amazing businesses, like the kind that like Warren Buffett will buy up in a heartbeat? And that requires deep, deep research in the industry, in a geography, and really, really, really understanding like who is a clear market leader for a very long period of time in a particular type of business. And that is a lot of work. Like that's what I do. Like when I was at Blackstone and KKR, I had to spend months and years in a handful of industries to figure out who is the clear market leader, what's the best-in-class top-performing business, which one potentially could be open to selling, and what will be a great value creation thesis to like scale and grow this business. So we're going to try to summarize that into like a very, very, very quick, like 2-minute example. And a really cool thing that I like to do is first just build the list of potentially great names. And what's the easy thing to do? Google great or top XYZ industry companies that are family owned in a particular geography. So a thesis that I've been looking at and spending a little bit of time on is like outsource IT services for small businesses. I have a thesis that a lot of small businesses want to focus on their product and their customers and delivering great service. They don't want to spend that much time focusing on the tech and IT and tech stacks of their business and the back infrastructure for that. So what they do is I think they are willing to pay for an outsourced IT provider that can handle a lot of their IT as well as cybersecurity needs. And FYI, all businesses need this type of stuff. So I'm on the hunt to try to find the best outsourced IT business that I could find. So how would I put this into practice? What I would do is I would simply Google top family-owned IT outsourced companies, and they also call them a managed service provider. So that's another good search term for the industry. And then I'll put California to see like, all right, what kind of businesses exist that are out here in my area that I want to spend time looking at. So let's see who has a really good list. Which ones are family owned? And as we look through this list, we want to look at which ones are like a credible source, because sometimes companies pay to get sponsored to get onto these type of listings. Let's try to find something that is a little bit, non-biased. And then let's see here. This one is IT outsource service provider for nonprofits. That's kind of cool. Let's see. It's a good niche list. And let's try to see which ones are family owned. And then boom, we found one. ICS, founded in 1981, and they are family owned, and they're based in Texas. So that's solid. It kind of didn't do my California criteria, but we can at least learn about this one. Then we'll go to their website and try to learn a little bit more about this business. See, outsource IT support. This gives us a little bit of runway to learn a little bit more about the business. And this is the type of companies that they offer service to. So country clubs, associations, law firms, CPAs. Do you need? Yes, I do, but not really. Nonprofits and things like that. And then what you want to do from here is you take this business, you learn as much as you can about it, you learn as much as you can about the industry, and then you call them or you send them an email, right? And if we want to email them, hi, owner, whatever their owner's name is, right? By way of introduction, my name is Kenny Finance, and I'm the founder of Dreamline Holdings, and we invest in great family-owned businesses, right? I'd love to spend time learning about your... Oh, you know what? Let's pause, because I just realized we live in a world of AI. So let me open ChatGPT and have ChatGPT help me draft a compelling note to get this owner to respond to the email. So let's pause right there and let's open up ChatGPT. So what's fire, what we can do is we can open up this website, boom, and then we can go to ChatGPT. And once we go to ChatGPT, we can say, I'm looking to potentially acquire this business. Please tell me everything I need to know about this business, industry, and the owner. Also, prepare a compelling outreach email as if you're me, Kenny, founder at Dreamline, looking to connect and learn more about the business. Boom. Let's see what ChatGPT pulls together for us. If it can do it. All right. Boom. So, Integrated Computer Solutions, ICS, founded in 1987. Yep, we knew that. Boom, boom, boom. It has estimated revenue of $9 to $24 million. This is what they specialize in, the services they offer. This is their leadership. This is their team. This is their financials. Boom. Industry contacts, key diligence areas where you want to spend time. Suggested outreach email. We are rocking and rolling, baby. Let's go. I am giving you guys absolutely free game when it comes to buying this. The best thing you can do is subscribe to the community where you are joining nothing but the best of the best of investors, smart money move makers, and people that are just passionate about up-leveling and making smarter financial decisions. Welcome. And then boom, we copy this joint in there. We'll put that in our email, and then we'll rock and roll it, and we're ready to go. That's an outreach, and if they don't respond, we'll follow up in another week or two, and then just have that cadence of just getting in touch with the owner. And that's just one. We would do that across hundreds of others because we have a lot of things to search for. So if you want to try to find a great company, start by looking at BizBuySell. Look at the business listings. Get comfortable looking at businesses and thinking about what's a good or a bad business. It's like shopping or window shopping, right? Window shop your way through the world of the business mall, plain and simple. And then secondly, build a network of incredible business brokers that have armies of people reaching out to business owners every single day. Start to get scale. Get your name out there that you're in the market to buy a business. And then thirdly, rely on your own talents and your own grit and hustle and literally knock on doors of business owners. Reach out to them, call them, and start to build that network of proprietary deal flow because the best businesses, the best of the best, are not on these listings. They're still focused printing cash, and the owners don't even know that it's time to sell yet, all right? So convince those that, hey, you're a great person that's looking to buy their business and improve the next chapter of their legacy, and you are the right owner. Plain and simple. And it's less competitive. But what happens after you find that company? Well, the next step is then diligence, right? You want to be the smartest person in the world on that company and industry. And then you want to get into something called thinking about structuring and the price. Because every deal comes at a price. You want to figure out what is the right price to purchase that business. And for investors, you want to think about the price as, of course, a multiple of the cash flow. But then also you want to think about how are you going to afford to pay that price? Like, do I have $2 million in cash right now to buy that tree and landscaping business in Texas? Maybe not. And even if I want to sell all my investments, I don't want to put it all in one basket. So there are a bunch of really cool ways that you can creatively finance the acquisition of a deal. And the cool thing about this creative financing is it allows you to put little money down to buy a business, and you can supplement the rest of that purchase price with an SBA loan or something I like to call buy now, pay later. Now I know you're kind of like, oh, can you finance? Like, why would I go to an Afterpay or a firm to buy a business? Guess what? It exists. It's called seller financing, and it's essentially the same thing as buy now, pay later. And if you want to learn how to use that as a way to fund an acquisition of a deal by putting potentially zero money down, but it's recommended to put a little bit, 10% plus, check out this next video where I dive deep into everything you need to know about using buy now, pay later to fund the acquisition of a cash flowing business. It's a cheat code. It will absolutely blow your mind, and you don't want to miss that. So I'll catch you guys on the next one. And if you enjoyed this video, smash that like button and continue to make smart money moves, baby. Peace.